Hey y'all, it's me, Jada B, and you're dancing with Jay. As you can already see in the title, today I'm going to be giving y'all a story time. So I'm going to be doing a series within a series because this is my Vlogmas series day 7. Okay, and I'm going to be doing a mini series within Vlogmas, which is called 8 Days of Story Times. So if you ever heard of 8 Days of Christmas, this is my 8 Days of Story Time. So you get the tea for 8 straight days, okay? Beyond scared 8. Did you get what I did there? So today's story time will be letting you know on my worst performance ever in life that really changed my life. It was life altering. It really impacted the way that I started thinking and feeling about dance. So if you want the tea, and I'm telling you, it gets juicy. Come over here. Oh no, my computer down here. Hold on. Alright, so I'm gonna give you a little backstory because for every story, there's a backstory. So at this point in time, this is like years ago. Now prior to this performance, that I participated in, there was the Memorial Day Parade, there was a competition that was in June, and then there was another competition that was in July. And now here we are in August, we have a fashion show where it's a hair show, but you know, it's about fashion too. So you call it hair show, fashion show, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So around this time, little old me, how this Jada B came to be, I decided to start working on my own choreography skills, you know. And I would make dances. Like I'm telling you, I made dances every single day, every hour. Like I was making dances like that. And this particular day, I was teaching a few of my little dance friends or whatever, I was teaching them what I had made. Later that day, the coach came in and she started teaching us something, obviously for this performance, right? For this performance. Also part of the backstory, this performance was literally in like 6 to 5 days or 7 days, whatever it was a short amount of time. And the CEO, admin, director, you call her the director, she really like emphasized that. She was like, y'all literally learned that in like 5 days or like a week or something. I can't really remember, but she emphasized it, so I remember that much. And she came in, she taught us one of the dances. Next thing you know, everybody's like, Jada, she stole your dance, da, da, da. You wanna know why? Because great minds think alike. Because me, I mean like coach, like student. Okay, because you learn from the best. So no, I'm just playing. But honestly, they was coming to me, and obviously I got more sense and good enough sense to know that that's not her, like that. And you couldn't tell me that anyway, because she was never ever in her life, well, from when I was in her life, she was never the type to take suggestions from other people. She always did her own thing. So I was like, that's not the same dance. It's similar. And I'm telling y'all this for a reason, okay? Because I'm set up for failure. But listen, when I used to make my dances, I used to keep them in my head, which means I never recorded them and kept them in my phone like I do now. Now I make a dance, I can forget it. I don't mind forgetting my own dance because I can go back in my phone and find it. But back then, I didn't think like that, so I kept everything in my head. Keep that in mind. So she started teaching us this dance, and basically, it was similar to the dance that I had made and that I was teaching them or whatever. And mind you, I be keeping so much in my head or whatever. I was kind of messing up on this one part because it was so similar to my dance. I was doing things that I put in the dance or whatever. So it was kind of difficult a little bit for me to like grasp it, because I kept like, the only time I would really mess up is if I did something that I did in another dance, basically. And my coach, like, she was working fast, but the reason why she was working fast because we did not have long to like learn it, right? Keep in mind, everybody wanted to do this performance. It is a whole hair show. Everybody wanted to do it. Everybody wanted to look cute. And as time evaded, they was dropping like flies. Like they didn't want to do it. And speaking of that, I'm gonna just let you know how I was set up for failure, okay? I was set up for failure with this performance, and I'm gonna let you know why. The first reason is that I'm an open-minded person. I've always been. I really wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it without my closest friends. All these people that's like really close to me, they dipped, like they didn't want to do it. Like they was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to model walk, because mind you, we're dancers. We don't like model and like walk and stuff like that. I was very I wasn't confident at all. Like I felt like I was too skinny to wear anything. This was also my like awkward era when it came to like clothes, because I never, still at this age, I was 14, I had never really went out to the store and picked out my own clothes for real. My mom always did that, so I didn't really have a style, and it was just different for me, and I just didn't, you know what to wear or anything like that. And we had to wear like neon. It was two looks. We had to wear like all white, and then we had to do a neon look. Mind you, it's a hair show, and I decided to put weave in my head. Why? I don't know. Sorry, kill me. I don't know. So I never had it. Keep in mind that. Oh, sorry. Back to people, why I was set up for failure. Secondly, during this time frame, oh my gosh, there's 3 reasons. Okay, hold on. So the next reason why I was set up for failure is because at one point we was put, now this particular coach, she was known for group numbers. Like she'll give you a group number in a second. Okay, that was her thing. And so she did a group number, and can y'all guess what happened? I didn't like who I was paired up with. Now we're gonna call the 2 girls that I was paired up with Stacy and Lola. Lola and me were cool. Like we did like collabs like on Instagram and stuff like that, and we were like mad cool. And the other girl, Stacy, she was a senior, and I didn't really mess with the seniors like that, but she was a twin, okay, and she was the nicer twin. So, and I always admired her choreography and her work and things like that. But when we got into this little dance group, she's the type to let leadership get to her head, okay? Her leadership, she was working with the minis, and she was teaching them stands and everything like that, and she also was choreographing stuff for us, I think. So she let that get to her head. And so when we was in a group, the coach told us to all make the dance together. And you know me, I'm a creator. Like I do, like that's my thing is choreography, but I also love working with other people. She was like, oh, I got this, I'm a choreographer. And Lola was like, oh, but Jada's a choreographer too, like her stuff be really dope. And she was like, yeah, whatever, da-da-da. And she just made the dance. Girl, when we showed the coach the dance, we got sent back, not once, not twice, but 3 times, because she did things that did not make sense. It was something in the dance, she was like, take it out because it doesn't go. Then she put something else in there, and then she was like, yeah, but do this and da-da-da. And then the 3rd time she sent us back, it's like, no. I think the first time she sent us back is because we had to walk off, and I was telling her that, but she wasn't listening. She had an attitude with me the whole time, and it was really hard for me to like learn, because, you know, my feelings a little hurt. Like, why are you disrespecting me? Like, why are you getting an attitude with me? Like, I don't understand. I kept messing up because we kept changing the dance so many times, and then she was just yelling at me and getting an attitude with me, and nobody was really saying anything. Like, I don't know if the coach saw, or like, I know the director saw, but she laughed. They laughed. Like,
I don't condone fighting. However, at this point, it's time to get active.
And it was like, well, she can get cut if she can't get it together. Like, what do you mean? Like, you need to get on this girl. I don't know what's up with Miss Girl, but she need to get it together. The 3rd reason why I was set up for failure is because, listen, also during this time, mind you, we have sections of practice where we work on walking and modeling and things like that, and then we had a section where we would, you know, work on dance. I had a partner to walk with, because there were solos like walking, and then there were 2 girls like that was walking, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if y'all see how modeling work, y'all know. But listen, this girl, I had told somebody or whatever, and they were cousins, and I had told her, no, I told somebody else. First of all, I wasn't even talking to her. I wasn't even talking to her, I was talking to them. And then they was like, she might not be able to do it because she don't have anything to wear. She didn't say anything to me, and I was still talking to her. I wasn't even talking to her. She not gonna say anything to me. Mind you, this is my partner. We're supposed to be practicing walking. She gonna sit there and go to the coach and tell her or whatever. Coach look at me and she's like, come here. And I was like, yes. And she was like, are you doing it? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, and I was like, well, I'm not sure or something, because she was like, well, she said da da da. And I was like, well, I'm not sure. And she was like, well, why would you come if you not doing it? And I was like, I mean, because like I didn't really know what to say for her, because it's like, what if I'm not doing it? But I'm pretty sure I was gonna do it. And then she sat me out, and I think that went on for like that practice day, and I think I missed the practice. I'm not sure how that went down, but that was another thing that really irritated me. Like, girl, nobody was talking to you, and then you went to go tell my business out like that. Like, what is wrong with you? Stop. Long story short, basically, I'm by myself. I'm going through all these frustrations because people just and then, mind you, here's another thing. Mind you, remember when I said I wasn't comfortable? I felt like I was too skinny for the things I was wearing. I felt ugly. I even hated taking pictures. And then, basically, when we were walking, yes, it's a call out, because when we were walking, it was this girl, and we're gonna call her Martha Stewart. Oh, we're gonna call her Martha. So Martha is standing next to the coach, and when me and my partner was walking, like we were uncomfortable, or I was uncomfortable. No. This is after. Remember, I said my partner went to go tell her that I wasn't doing it, and she had sat me out. When we came back to practice, obviously they was practicing without me. We didn't get a chance to go over what we were gonna do. So when we went out there, we didn't know what we were doing. So we were just walking and stuff like that. And Martha's gonna sit there and say to the coach, oh, they look dumb. And then the coach gonna be like, right, so fix it now. You're the coach, fix it. So, and I was just like, I felt so bad, because like, I was like, you're my coach, why would you say that? Like, you're supposed to help me. Like, I'm talking like, and I'm not gonna lie, she used to scare me, because it would be like the way she be looking. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way she used to look at people, especially me. I don't know, maybe it was because her eyes were kind of like big, but like, I don't mean no more. But she would sit there and she was just looking at me like this when I was walking, and I was looking dumb. Like, anyways, I went home. I was practicing every single day. My mom used to work with me when I was working on my walks and things like that. I went home and I practiced hard every single day. I was not ever one of those dancers who did not go home and practice. I will say that. So yeah, let's get to the actual day of the performance. That was just a little backstory. I know it was a long time, but stay here and listen to why I messed up. When I first get there, I'm hungry. Everybody's eating. I'm not. So I call my mom and say, I'm hungry. Everybody else is eating, whatever. So she goes to Wendy's and she gets me something to eat. She gets me something to eat, and I start eating Wendy's. Mind you, when I got in there, I was already irritated because people was talking about my hair, and it was like, oh, she looked crazy, but or whatever, because the buns were two different sizes. And so everybody, when I tell you everybody was in my head trying to fix my hair, and nobody could get it right at all, like literally. And then while we was in there, the coach was like, I guess she had a wig and she does hair, so she was like plucking her wig. I don't know what she was doing, because I don't do hair, but she was doing something with her wig, and she was just looking at me like she was staring. When I tell you she was staring, okay, she was staring at me. And I'm guessing she was staring because, you know, the buns were two different sizes. And so she watched me walk around, you know, talk for like 30 minutes. She didn't stare like for 30 minutes straight, but like I peeped her looking at me a few times. And then she said, your buns are two different sizes. I know, but I was like, oh, okay, thank you, or something, whatever I said. But the buns still were not the same size. And but the hair was it was the exact same hair pack. And she's staring at me. It was making me very nervous, okay? Mind you, backstory a little bit. I'm not typically a nervous person when it comes to dance. I just want to have fun. In every performance before that, I was never, ever, ever nervous. Like, I just went and did it. Like, it was very fun for me. That's not something that I was very intimidated by. But this day I was nervous because she kept staring at me like I did something wrong. So, what happened after that? They tried to help fix it or whatever, and she's still staring at me after a while. And I'm like, So I just ignore her. I just not even, because I mean, like, you're not saying anything, you know? So I said, okay. Then, I think one of the reasons why I messed up was like karma, because we was outside, and there was a TV, and this one girl, she had messed up so bad, y'all. She had messed up so bad, and we was laughing at her. I think I was laughing because everybody else was laughing, to be honest, but that's what I get. And so we had went in there, and I was eating a candy apple. Like, no, before that, I was before that, before we danced, we had actually modeled first. And Miss T, we're gonna call her Miss T, she was a parent. She stressed, do not leave your clothes back here. Change your clothes, because you're gonna change backstage. I'm so nervous because the girl keeps staring at me. I forget my clothes. I'm so scared to ask her, can I run back there and get my clothes? Because I knew she was gonna have an attitude with me. So I asked Miss T, I said, can I hurry up and go back there and get my stuff right quick? She told me something, I don't know, you gotta ask. I asked, ooh. I said, she said, I don't know, you gotta ask Coach so-and-so. Then I asked Miss A, we're gonna call her Miss A. I asked Miss A, I said, can I please go get my stuff like real quick? I left it back there. She was like, I don't know, you gotta ask Coach so-and-so. What is up with that? Like, literally, it's real quick. Like, just give me permission so I can come back. And I'm not the first one to go. I'm like in the middle somewhere. So I asked her, and she was like, why did you even leave it back there in the first place? Go get it. Like, she really just had an attitude about her eyes at me and everything. And I just felt so bad. So I like ran and got it. And you want to know, it took me less than 20 seconds to go get it. I could have walked and it would have been that. Like, it was not that far. Like, literally. Like, actually, in less than 15 seconds, I went to go get it. So, literally would have took about 30 seconds or 25 seconds to walk back there and get it and come back. Mind you, I'm not the first person to go on. So, I don't understand why it was even that big of an issue. We out here walking. And I'm confused. I'm not using my common sense at this point. The way we practiced doing the modeling or whatever was not the way that we did it. Because the way that we practiced modeling was that we went out, we posed, then we walked, posed, came back, posed, and walked. The way everybody else was doing it at this thing, we walked, pose, walk back, pose, dip. So I come out trying to pose, and the girl's right here posing. She walks off, and I'm still there. And then I walk, pose, come back, pose. I got it right the second time. I think. And it just, I wasn't happy with the performance. I felt like like I did something wrong. And yeah. And child, anyways, skip forward to the dance performance. Before we started dancing, I had got me a candy apple. I was eating, y'all know how the top of the candy apple be having like that extra layer of candy, so you be trying to eat it. That's what I was doing. I wasn't eating the whole thing. And she was looking at me, like, she just kept staring. And before that, it's just new stuff popping up now. Before that, I was practicing the dance a little bit. Mind you, there's another team across the room. Right, there's another team across the room, so I'm marking it. I'm not going full out, but I'm making sure that I have a dance, me being a responsible dancer. And she just keeps looking at me, so I stopped because I felt bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I was doing something wrong, and she was looking at me like, why are you looking this hard? Like, what's the issue at this point? Like, what's up? Like, for real. Anyways, back to me eating the candy apple. I'm eating the candy apple, and she's staring at me. I look up, mind you, I'm not staring at her back. This whole time that I realized she was looking at me, it's like almost every time I looked at her, she was looking at me. And she wasn't mean mugging or anything like that. She wasn't mean mugging. She was just looking like she was just looking. Like, maybe she thought I was staring at her. Child, maybe I was louder or something. I don't know. But I turn around and I look at her and she's looking. Then I look back. And I'm still eating the candy apple. And I'm like, maybe she's not staring at me. So I decided to stare back a little bit just to see. So I look at her. And I promise you, we was looking at each other for a good 3 seconds. And I was like, oh, hell no. No, no, no. Girl, what's your problem? I should send this video to her because what? What in the, like, so basically, after that whole situation, we go out here and we dance. Mind you, she's dancing with us. Must I mention, she's dancing with us. Remember the group, remember I said we was putting the group number. We went out there and we did the group dance. Remember I told you we kept changing it like 3 times? I was like split seconds late on my death drop because I was about to do something else that we had. I was like split seconds late too. I was so mad at myself because I practiced and I worked so hard to do good today. And I fumbled. And it wasn't even that big of a mess up. But I was very upset. I went to the back. I wasn't crying, but I was just so angry. Like, I was just mad. Like, I worked so hard for this, and look what I got. Like, no. And then one of the singers came over there, and she was like, it's okay. She was like, it's okay. Get up. Like, you got to do this next number or whatever. So I get up, and I'm like, oh, shoot. Mind you, the whole theme of this dance was like a burglary or something, like we're raiding or like robbing the masquerade ball or something like that. It was like a masquerade theme, and we were like robbing it or something. I don't know what the theme was, but we go in there. The girl, I think she's in a dress. She's in a nice little dress. I think this was her prom dress too, but she was in it, the coach. And she was sitting in a chair, and I guess she was acting like she was tied up. Like, we tied her up, and then we were taunting at her and laughing at her, whatever. Baby had me shook because I was scared. I was scared because I was like, and I asked him, I was like, do you think she was really looking at me like that? Because mind you, you was staring at me the whole time, and now you looking like this. I'm scared. So I was like, do you think it was part of the show? Or do you think she was really looking at me like that? It was one of those. And she was like, Jada, it was part of the show. Like my friends and stuff, they was like, Jada, it's part of the show. And I was like, oh, nah, I ain't with all that. And it scared me so bad. It scared me so bad that I literally was ready to run off the stage. Not thinking I was about to walk off stage and my part was coming up. You got girl like Jada. And I look and I'm like, dang. So mind you, I'm right here about to walk off. Now I gotta run all the way back. How unprofessional do that look? Bad. Terrible, I tell you. Terrible, I say. No, was it before that, right? I walk backstage and there's this singer. I think it's a singer. It's dark and I can't really see for real because they're tall. And I bump into them and I tell them to move. Keep that in mind. So as we're dancing. Remember when I made my own dance and she made a dance similar and I kept messing up, but then I got it? I had it. But when we got there, I messed up. And guess what? I couldn't pick myself back up. Normally, I'm the type who can keep going and pick myself back up. When I tell you my mind went blank as if I never learned that dance a day in my life, and I was just standing there like, and I'm so happy that I kept going and I didn't just walk off and cry or anything. Like, and I didn't cry. And I kept going. Like, the next dance that came on, I really ate that up. Like, I was like, oh, that new, I'm about to, on a, hold up, tell it, bands running straight through the machinery. They came through with a stick and you heard. Mind you, I'm in the very back. There's like tons of girls and I'm in the very back. So keep that in mind too. It wasn't as bad, but it was bad. Everybody could see. I go to the back and I sit there. Mind you, this is the end of the performance. I go to the back. I sit there with my head down on the little steps. And then the coach comes back there and she's like, and Jada messed up the whole thing. I was like, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm not irritated because she's right. She wasn't right, but she was right. She wasn't right, but she was right. She was wrong for her saying that because, baby, that's not professional. And fix the situation and stop instigating, you know what I mean? But she basically, then she touched me, then she put her hands on me, she grabbed me, she said, hold on. Everybody else was leaving. I knew everybody else was leaving. I wanted to leave last. Like, is there a problem with that? Let me be blue, young fella. Okay, so I'm down there and she grabbed me like, get up. Like, she like, get up. And I'm just like, girl, back up. Like, she grabbed me and she was like, get up. I don't know why you crying. You should have practiced at home. You should have went home and practiced. And that just made me so mad. And I wasn't crying. I was just angry. And then I started to cry because, and I was crying hard too, because it's like, why would you say that? Like, you said I messed up the whole thing. Then you said, why are you even crying? Like, girl, you know why I'm crying, even though I wasn't crying. Like, that's like crazy. Like, and then, oh, mind you, again, when we came back there and the performance was done and everything, the same singer, I think it's the same singer, I don't know, I bumped into them and told them to move. Keep that in mind because I'm gonna touch back on that. But she was like, I don't even know why you crying, and I'm just like, girl, you know why. But I didn't say that. And I was really crying because it's like, what do you mean you should have practiced at home? I did. And it's like, what were you seeing at practice? Because these last few practices, I've been really showing up and showing out for real. Like it's really confusing me. Like, cause, and then my mom was there helping me too. So you know I was practicing at home. So why would you say that? And what's the greater issue here? Are you gonna ask me what's wrong or not? Mind you, I went out there nervous because you kept staring at the system. Like, what's tea at this point? I'm just kind of confused. So I was out there, I was crying because, first of all, that's embarrassing. Then it's like the way they went about it, it just wasn't encouraging at all. Like, it didn't make me want to do any more performances. I felt like I was gonna mess up. It scared me so bad. She danced with us, and then she was going to college, so they had planned like a surprise dinner for her. And they asked, like, the next day we came into practice, you know, because they reward us after some time or whatever. And they asked, they was like, who wants to perform for surprise dinner? Everybody raised their hand but me. And when I came in there, I had my head down, I was just sad. And I was over there again and I had my head down, I was laying down. People thought I was asleep because I didn't raise my hand, but I just didn't want to do it. And the CEO, like, nobody said anything. Like, the adults at me, nobody said anything, nobody really cared for real. They was giving us treats and stuff for like the day before when we performed, and I felt like I didn't deserve it. I was just very sad, and I was like, no thank you. And she just was like, well, you don't gotta get one then, da da da. Like, she got mad. Like, girl, I know you put your blood, sweat, and tears and your love inside this sandwich, but I don't want it. I'm like very upset. The only reason why I stayed, there's multiple reasons why I stayed. One, I stayed because I didn't want to be at home. I had nowhere else to go. Dance was my whole life at that point. And then two, there was two girls who, the seniors, this is why I didn't really like the seniors, because they would not help us make cuts for anything. They did not help us. They were impatient. They had attitudes. Me loving to help, me being in love with helping people and things like that, I decided to stay and help them. They made parts that I didn't make for some odd reason, because they assumed that I didn't know it since I messed up so bad and everything like that at this performance. And like, I don't think I have the video anymore from this particular performance, but they had me dancing with the minis in this one particular section. I'm not gonna say anything for this next part because it's not important, but every performance after that, I just was very, like, I had anxiety, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I had anxiety. I felt like I was gonna mess up, and that it just wasn't good. So that was like, yeah. So continuing the story of what happened after, whenever I told somebody this story, and the first time I told somebody this story, it was my girl. We were tight. I'm gonna call her Jay. I told her, and then I realized, remember when I said I bumped into this senior? that don't sound right, do it? Considering that they didn't say anything or do anything when I did it. You know what I mean? Because they have attitudes that are to die. Like, you would think that if you bump into somebody, they're gonna say something to you, but they didn't. And then I realized all the seniors have straight hair, and I think this person had like curly, poofy hair. And the only person that had curly, poofy hair was the coach. Now, mind you, at the time, the coach was 18. She could pass for 17, maybe 16, but she a little tall. But she definitely looked about 18, for real, 17, 18. And I was just like, no, it wasn't her. But that would explain why she went about things the way that she did, because I was kind of rude about it and kind of bumped into her. I still to this day don't know if I bumped into her. So, girl, if I bumped into you, I'm sorry. But I thought you was a senior and I didn't like them. So, hey, whatever. I was irritated. Like, come on now. But, yeah, so that's the whole story time of my worst performance ever. No, I don't have video clips. Why would I have video clips? I didn't want to watch that video. Now you got my mom and my aunt confused. I really saved her one because my mom really wanted to go have some words with her. But I ain't even want all that for real, because I ain't even about that life. We ain't even finna do that. Mama, be calm. Be calm. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope it was interesting enough for you to watch the whole thing through, because this is a very long video. But thank you for watching, and I hope you watch the next video. Bye. Oh, Vlogmas series, watch that.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not.